in a world whose hosts cried out for a replacement to Thunderdome. The Top 10 is proud to bring you the Realist.
Realist. Realist.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of our special show, The Realist.
Realist. Realist. And that's when you decided to take a bite? All right.
I mean,
You've never had those before? Were you not anticipating exactly what it is?
I don't know. I don't know if that's loud enough. I like it when it's louder.
That's as loud as the volume goes, man.
I know, man. I like it to feel like we're in a stadium. Now we're talking.
Okay, maybe it was a fractional amount. I'll give you 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch max. That's about it. It made that much. You have the headphones on. Okay.
I have that.
That's fine.
I'm hearing
That's fine. So am I. It's right in my ear, but I don't know how the microphone's picking it up. I would assume, because I'm not that close.
True. Fair point.
That it's fine, but...
How are you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm happy to be joining back up again, doing a little bit of the Realist.
Yeah.
It'll be a good day. I always enjoy the show because you'd have no idea what they're going to send. We don't know what the topic is. Mm-hmm. The gist of the show is basically one patron chooses the topic and another two then submit their list for that topic. And then we do it like a regular show. We combine them and we don't add or subtract any movies. But we walk into a blind each and every time, which is like, I don't know. Which topic are we covering today? It's been good because occasionally it's, you know what? That was the second choice we had for that week. We haven't admitted it on the show.
Right.
It's like, that was our second choice. You timed it up with a release. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And other times it's just been like, what an out-of-the-box, we should do that on the show. Mm-hmm. I think one of those is actually coming.
Yeah, probably.
It's on the schedule as of right now. It was such a good idea. And you're like, okay, we should do this one.
We've got ourselves an official schedule. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's a big
Finally, we've crossed the Rubicon on that one.
What? You know what? This was all your project.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It was my...
For 2 years.
Yeah. For 2 years, I've wanted us to build a Google Calendar so that we know what subjects we have to tackle coming up and what we have scheduled. Because, I mean, as we do, especially over the last few months, as we've done more for the patrons, more for the fans of Top 10, to encourage them to become patrons of the Top 10, I have lost track of what needs to get done, and also because I got all these other things going on in my mind. It's like, and that doesn't mean that Matt's not busy. I just mean like I'm busy with similar shit, so it gets lost in my head.
Sure,
you know. So I needed to build that calendar up, and I got the idea from Steve because Steve has our Cinephiles calendar like on point because Steve is super anal about this shit.
Sure,
he has it on point. So I just thought it occurred to me that it'd be nice to get it on for us, but. Finally, I just asked Kristen Smith, and she built it for us, and thank God, because now we have a calendar where we can look at things and see what's coming up. I mean, I'm still going to text Matt and go, what do we got going on this week? Probably, because I'm terrible about that shit.
You did it 2 days ago.
I did.
You're like, what are we doing this week?
I did.
And I had to tell you what the topic was. I don't want to say it because this comes out before that show.
That's true.
And it's like, in my head, though, it was like, we got that calendar, and he still asked me.
Fair point. Join my girlfriend. She feels the same way. She's like, she just responds now, it's in the fucking calendar. That's what she says to me.
Oh, you got her putting shit in a calendar,
no,
too?
she is mad about that. Because I said to her, babes, because like she was like, I don't know when you're coming home when you're not coming home after work. I don't know when you've got recordings and screenings and blah, blah, blah. So she was like, I said, well, we can build a calendar. She goes, okay, if we build this calendar, though, I'm going to put shit in it. So you've got to put shit in it. I'm still at that phase where it's like every other week, I'll put stuff in it. And the other week, I'll just tell her what I've got going on. If I tell her on a Sunday what I go on for the next 5 days, I feel like I've handled it. But no. She's very much like, is it in the calendar? Then it doesn't exist. And I'm like, okay. So.
Yes, she's on you.
I know.
She's on top of you to do that shit.
I'm learning, man. I don't like.
Hence why we haven't had a calendar till now. It's like Matt
goes with the flow, man.
I keep it all in my head, so it's just like we got this coming up, and then I take a picture when we write out the topics. I take a picture out of my phone, so then I can just go back to that in a folder, which is way easier. But I just do it like that and be like, oh, yeah, we got that coming up. And then, of course, it's the end of the month or it's whatever in this. Should we be doing this? And it's all just a system, a pattern, so I can just follow the pattern and know what it is.
I feel like I work better with people like you and Steve and Lindley because you all are so like organized about certain things, so I can free flow within it. I know it's frustrating. And I'm sure it's irritating.
Well, it's just when you want the organization, I'm like, go at it. Have at it. This is all your baby. I'm not, I inputted all this stuff. I inputted the entire calendar.
You did.
I was like, you know what? I will do that to help it start it off.
Yeah.
But I already told you, I was like, if you need it, man, go crazy. I will happily help out.
Yeah, and you did that. That's for damn sure. And thanks to Kristen Smith for building it. So, anyway, you want to jump into this thing?
Yeah, I think we've kibitzed enough about the show in general as a whole, as a macro sense for the fan. Sure. So yeah, we already explained the way the relist works. So the three people, and thanks to Chris Alexakos who helps put every one of these shows together.
Oh yeah,
and the shout out list, and he does so much for us. As does Kristen Smith, Matthew Hasso, Joe Ibarra, and Mike Shea.
Yeah, Mike Shea.
I almost said Schultz, and I was like, I don't even know a Mike Schultz.
I like Mike Schultz.
Sure, it sounds like an old gangster.
I puts it.
Oh, Schultz. Well, there's Dutch Schultz. That's why I just jumped to that.
I was thinking Schultz from the Hogan's Heroes.
You got me.
Puts the episode up, Schultz. Yeah.
I never watched Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, for God's sakes. What, really?
Look, go back and watch that and tell me it's still a legitimately good show.
It is. I watch it every once in a while on...
what does that mean?
Nick at Night? Or one of those channels that plays the old stuff on there?
Okay.
Yeah.
You actually stop to watch Hogan's Heroes?
Yeah, those are dangerous for me because I will go into a wormhole and sit there and watch old shows for like 3 hours. Because I'm just remembering being a kid watching that shit on a black and white television.
It depends on the show.
Really?
I can't just do that with any freaking show.
Well, they're smart to connect them for those of us who of a certain age who loved those shows. Like you can go from Hogan's Heroes into Good Times into...
Yeah, I can do that too with this to this to this in my childhood that other people can easily... Oh, yeah, that was a touchstone for me too.
Right.
Just Hogan's Heroes to me is... I've never really watched it. Gone back and seen like the Gilligans. I've seen all the Brady Bunch. I've seen all the, and that was one where you hear the premise and like, really, this was a show?
Which one, Brady Bunch?
Hogan's Heroes.
Oh yeah, right, the Nazis.
Well, let's make Nazis comedic. Like what? We're still fresh on the heels of this. You're basing this on concentration camps, and it's I saw nothing or whatever the fucking guy says all the time. It's his catchphrase.
Yeah.
It's like this is bonkers. And I guess it was a Jewish guy that created that show and then sold it.
Well, it's a Jewish guy who played, I think, if I'm not wrong, plays Werner Klemp, the main commandant of the camp.
I believe you're right. There's more than one Nazi, if I'm not mistaken, was Jewish.
Well, yeah, probably. Oh, well, fair enough, too. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying of the actors.
Oh, the actors. Okay, all right. I didn't do this much. I defer to you when it comes to historical research.
It's not really historical.
You knew a lot of Jews that were Nazis or know about that.
Well, there's two Jewish actors playing Nazis. That's all I'm saying. I believe.
Okay, all right.
It was a Jewish guy that sold it. Just like, I can't believe this flew. And
you're not saying there were like Jews that were masquerading as Nazis in
World War II?
Yes, World War II.
Sure, it happened.
Yeah, probably.
Just self-preservation.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, I guess, in life. It's a shitty situation, that's for sure. Now that we're depressed, everybody. So
I think they know about what happened in World War II.
Well, I don't know.
If we're illuminating anyone right now to what World War II is, please stop this right now. As much as I don't want to lose a listener, and go and watch any of 1,000 movies, listen to podcasts, History Channel. You got to know about World War II. It's one of those things in life. I mean... If you're American, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War,
these are the big ones.
World War II, those are like the three big ones. World War I's kind of an afterthought as far as my education growing up in this country. I had to go back and discover most of it on my own.
Yep.
And those are the three that we're fixated upon.
What about
Vietnam, we skirted over.
We did.
What was it? What about what?
The Hindenburg. Where does the Hindenburg lie in?
I don't remember ever. I found out about that outside of school.
Oh, really?
Did you find out? You really found out about the Hindenburg in school?
Yeah, in history class.
Well, is it fucking Zeppelin explodes historical fact day?
Well, it was a big deal. Like that idea of the end of that form of transportation, an airship like that. It's a big deal, man.
True, but at the same time, does that ever really seem like a reliable mode of transportation? I can't believe anybody thought of that as a long-term solution.
Good point.
So it was convenient, but ultimately you're floating around on air or hot air balloon, all that jazz. Hot air.
Yeah.
You're like,
A balloon that can go up at any time. I am going to get more of these. These are fantastic. I'm going to buy
I can't believe you never had those before?
Peanut butter dark chocolate I've never had before. I've had those terrible raisin ones or whatever. But shout out to the Kind bars. Maybe they want to sponsor the top 10 down the road.
Yeah, sure. I buy theirs on a decent clip. Them, Cliff Bars, a couple others, but it's only when, I'm not going to be home for 4 hours and I'm not going to have time to eat.
Yeah.
So I grab one of those whenever I stop for something like this, just any kind of drink.
I think that's the next thing we need. We need somebody who's going to be able to get us sponsorships. I mean, somebody's going to be able to talk us up to brands and show them our numbers and our rabid fan base and our Patreon. And see, this is the kind of show you need to be sponsoring.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if there's anybody listening to us who has an ability to do that or does that already in a certain field, come on and help us out. We'll give you a shout out.
Oh, yeah.
We'll let you call into the show.
I instantly looked at your shirt, and it's very militaristic.
Oh, yeah.
Just in color cut. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a clash, but just this, boom, you're coming out. You're, getting the, let's do this.
I'm just tired, Matt. I want us to get to the next level.
We will.
We've got a great fucking show, man.
We do.
We need more people to be listening to us.
We will. Look, it's ebbs and flows, ups and downs, and the sponsorship would thoroughly help. I'm not going to fight you on that whatsoever. We do have some things cooking in the back burner.
We do. You're right.
Bring with those and just kind of roll out even more stuff and slowly, go from there.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you hear me eating. All right, let's move on. So our topic for this, if I'm right about this, am I right on this? Did I get the right one?
Well, here, I'll start.
Why don't you do that?
It's from Angela Dashner.
Okay.
And she picked the top 10 Helen Mirren movies.
Oh, okay.
So that is correct. Yeah. So I've got those. So we have two people that submitted, Brandon Munroe and the aforementioned Kristen Smith.
Uh-huh.
They have submitted their lists. So do you want to take the top list or the bottom list?
I don't know if I have it, man.
You just pulled it up.
I pulled up the top 10 Pixar voiceover actors. Is there one below that one?
Keep scrolling.
Down?
Scroll to the bottom.
Okay.
Scroll to the bottom. Otherwise, I forwarded it to your other email account that you asked me to.
Yeah.
And you can find it in there.
All right. Who's this from again? Who's the person who suggested the topic?
It's from Angela Dashner.
Angela Dashner. Listen, I'm usually more prepared than this. I don't know why I can't find it. All right. Let me see. You forwarded it to me?
To that other email address you asked me to.
Okay. Oh, Matt Knost. Thank you. Here we go. Angela Dashner. Nice. And Brandon Munroe's the other guy.
Correct.
All right. So who?
Start us off.
All right. Sorry for the delay, but this topic proved to be a widowmaker. Oh, never mind. All right. Angela Dashner selected the top 10 here in Helen Mirren movies. Angela provided her own list if you want to read it at the end. So Brandon Munroe's first.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that one.
Go for it.
All right. Hello, Mr. Knost and Mr. Rocha. I met you guys in London. Would like to thank you, too, for being such gracious hosts, despite being racist to my home country of Canada. You cannot be racist towards a country, for God's sake.
No, we can just be right.
Yeah, fair enough. Your show was the best part of my UK trip and hope to finish that Oilers talk with Rocha eventually. Well, yeah. Also would like to thank all the great fans I met at the live show, but especially to Paul for taking me to a West Ham game. Hey, Paul!
There you go.
Nice. Paul took us around BBC. I am not a huge Helen Mirren fan, so I had quite a bit to catch up on, but be that as it may, if I'm missing any exceptional movies, I look forward to the roasting I will receive. All right, number 10, starting out with Inkheart. Not the greatest film, but entertaining. Is Inkheart in your list?
No.
Okay. Inkheart gets good performances from Brendan Fraser. Also, Andy Serkis always plays a good villain. I don't know this movie. Do you know this movie?
No. Okay. I remember when it came out. Because this came out somewhere around Stardust, too.
Yeah.
There was, in my head, a couple different of these kind of the same quality of movie.
Oh, okay.
The same type of story structure trope almost, but not really, but kind of.
Right.
So in my head, they coexist.
Inkheart. Okay. I do not remember a movie called Inkheart.
Isn't it about him, he writes books or something and the characters come to life? Or,
oh, yeah.
Something along those lines.
Wow, dude, what a memory. Yeah,
well, with a name like Inkheart, you can only really go a few different ways. I
suppose you're right. Paul Bettany's in this as well. Wow. All right. A lot of interesting people in this. All right. Then her number 9, if I can find it here. Where did I put that thing? Damn it. All right. Her number 9 is Prince of Egypt.
Do not have it.
Is that Helen Mirren? Who does she play? Does she play the Queen?
I would guess so. She is then there. Or did she play one of the
That'd be tough for me. I don't
part of Noah's old actual family and whatnot?
She does play the Queen. Okay.
Okay.
I was right. Yeah, her old crew is the old crew is other people, right? So yeah, interesting. All right, yeah, all right. I like it. I love this movie. I love Prince of Egypt. It's one that me and one of my good friends, Michael Vogel, who's one of the Geek Buddies, we always do lines from the movie to each other, just fuck around with each other sometimes. I think it's a great, unrecognized animated film that people need to revere a little bit more. Yes, it's a biblical story, so you could be like, oh, if I like it, blah, blah, blah. But like to me, it's actually just a great story about the ending of the relationship between two brothers. It's way more poignant than you would think, and I appreciate that about the movie. And it's got a great soundtrack.
That was beautiful. It was a perfect summation. It was. Everything about what you just said, I echo.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic movie. Good. What is it? Steve Martin and Nathan Lane. Is he the second?
Martin Short.
Martin Short. That's right. I can't believe I said Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
Is the two basically alchemists.
Yes.
The two charlatans in the face of God.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Just doing parlor tricks, but well cast.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, Ralph Fiennes.
Yep. Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum. Right. From Michelle Pfeiffer.
Who is Ramesses the first?
Oh, the older.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Ramesses. Ramesses the second is Noah's, or not Noah's.
Ray Fiennes is Ramses when he's older, right?
That's his Val Kilmer's brother in essence.
Okay. I don't see a listing for anybody who plays the dad. So.
Is Ray Fiennes Ramesses the first or second? Isn't he Ramesses?
Yeah, but remember they're brothers. They have a dad.
Now that would make him, do you see Ramesses the first? Or
I do not, no. But I see Seti, which is his dad. That's Patrick Stewart.
There you go.
Patrick Stewart, yeah, right. And then Danny Glover's in this thing as well, as Jethro.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. I remember him when it comes to the kind of roaming village. Not really, but it's one guy. It's not a shepherd. He's not a camel herder. There's a word for it.
Oh.
Anyway, it's kind of like a nomadic type of individual.
Yeah.
Whatnot, but they move with him like this entire group of individuals, I believe. Anyway, I think he's the lead of that.
Yep, he is. And
all right, what do you got next?
Number 8 is Red.
That's a punt.
Okay, cool. What do you got?
All right, start off. This is from Kristen Smith.
Okay.
And it's about time you let a sub-hobo make a relist.
Hey-o.
Listen, it's a random draw. And thankfully, eventually, we had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to get a couple numbers we hadn't gotten before. Then boom.
There she is.
Sub-hobo somehow makes it above the Mendoza line for a show.
Hey-o. Or the Menchaca line.
The Menchaca line.
Hey-o.
It's much better. That is much better.
Come on.
But for real, thanks for letting me join in for this episode. I am super excited to hear what you guys have to say about Helen Mirren. She is a huge role model on how to be a strong woman in a harsh environment. Looking through Mirren's filmography, I realize I have a lot of movies I haven't seen of hers, so my list is missing some iconic roles. I didn't have a lot of time to put this list together, so I couldn't watch anything that I have missed, but the list I got I am pretty happy with. Okay. Much love from your least favorite Smith. At number 10, she has The Tempest.
Ooh. Let me see if I got that on the list. Tempest. Is that with a T?
Mm-hmm.
No, not on it.
All right. Kristen says, as a Shakespeare fan, I had to pick at least one adaptation for this list.
Yeah.
And sorry, my screen is tiny. And Mirren has been in many. This is not a great movie, but it's not even a good movie. Maybe it's not even a good movie. But changing the gender of the main character, Prospero, was such a cool idea, and Helen Mirren plays the character with so much intensity that it is hard not to love her performance, regardless of the movie it is in. Is that how you say it, Prospero?
Prospero. Yeah.
I have never seen this movie.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I saw it.
I've only seen a few Shakespearean plays.
Yeah?
It's a handful.
You're not a Shakespeare guy?
I saw most of them when I was younger, so I found the language impenetrable.
That's
and now
fair.
that I'm older, I can follow along. It's still, there are turns of phrase that take me a second to compute, and they've already moved 2 lines on.
Yeah.
But then I just kind of go with my visual cues, and I get back into the rhythm again.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't see all that much in the way of Shakespeare.
All right.
You're saying you see just tons.
Yeah, if it's on film, I'll watch it. I just on the way back from London, I watched that Brana film that he did a couple of months ago called All Is True, where he plays William Shakespeare after he's written his last play and he comes back home, and what he deals with having to grieve the death of his son, who had died a few years before, but he had not grieved with his family about it. So it's about how he comes back and has to rediscover the connections he had with his family, and also atone for him going off to London and becoming this huge, massive success and having these affairs, but rarely coming back home to see his family, And so it was like all of that. It's really good. I enjoyed it. If you like Shakespeare, I think you'll enjoy the movie. Ian McKellen is great as well in the movie, and Dame Judi Dench plays his wife, Anne Hathaway. So, yeah.
Have you seen The Tempest?
I have seen The Tempest.
It's Shakespeare and it's been on film. Apparently, you have seen it. So.
Yes, I try to see as much as I can of the Shakespeare.
Would you go with her assessment that it's
it's a meh interpretation, like Titus. Titus is a meh film, but it's a great performance from Hopkins and Jessica Lange.
I've tried to watch that like 3 times.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Julie Taymor's not easy, man. On film, I think she's a great theater director, but on film, Julie is tough.
Okay,
like Across the Universe is Julie Taymor, so it's tough.
But then there was that new one that came out with. It's got Hopkins and it's got.
You mean King Lear? The one that came out on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
That's King Lear.
Any good?
Yeah, fuck yeah. That was good.
Okay.
It's a chore. It's a slog because it's 3 hours, but it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I know. Like I said, the Fassbender Macbeth is incredible. That's good. It's an hour and 40 minutes. They stripped away a lot of the text and just made it just hit the basic beats and put a lot of emoting in between the lines, which I really enjoyed. So I would definitely recommend that one.
All right. And at 90 minutes.
You can clip through that one.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
At number 8, she's got 100-Foot Journey.
Oh, I remember that one.
I do not.
No, not on this list.
All right. She writes, this is a fairly overlooked movie with a lot of heart. Mirren plays a stuck-up chef whose old-school methods and attitude is challenged by a talented young chef who moved from India with his family. While it may be a little by the numbers, it is one of those movies that makes your heart warm and your stomach growl in the best of ways.
How does a sub-hobo have a warm heart? Is that possible for a sub-hobo?
Well, the thing is, 33 isn't freezing, So you can come up a fractional amount, but you're still in that weird transitive state of, are you a solid? Are you a liquid? Are you going to revert to gas? I don't know. But you're probably going to stay closer to solid area. You can thaw a little.
So it's just slightly warm.
I'm just saying, there can be temperature fluctuation, but it is what it is.
Sure, fair enough. Okay.
I don't even remember this movie.
It kind of came and went, one of those kind of like quick little small British films, like what's the salmon one? Yemen.
Salmon fishing in Yemen.
Yeah, salmon fishing in Yemen. Yeah, that one. Like Emily Blunt was in that, but that one kind of came and went. So every once in a while, these British films come over here and they just kind of come and go after a few weeks. And
this one sounds more like the feel good.
Yeah, it kind of was one of those type of films. What's the other one? The what was one with the old people about the hotel? I forget what that one was called. There was another one with I don't remember. They had a hotel, the Grand something. I can't remember what it's called, but something like with the hotels and all these old British actors like Judi Dench.
I've seen a couple.
And there's a sequel even.
Every once in a while, you just see these smaller movies or whatnot. I think at the Farewell, I saw a trailer for a movie that sounds like that, where it's 6 older people and they're all British and they're just. Yeah. It's modern day topsy-turvydom on some level.
Right on. All right.
But yeah, I have not seen this. Perhaps I'll go back and see it.
Yeah.
What's your 7?
The Cook, the Thief, the Wife, and her lover.
Not on my list.
Okay. A movie that is enjoyable and disturbing at the same time. A movie that taught me to be careful what I vow to do. And said, bon appetit. I remember watching this one. This is kind of a weird thing to admit, but I remember watching this one because it was a Peter Greenaway film, and I remember Helen Mirren is like in this weird kind of like sexy dress outfit, and so I watched it to see if she got naked or got. This was back at that time when I was like exploring, watching things. I was like 18, 19 years old, like it's gonna get the VHS and watch it, that kind of thing, or
I did the cliched. Back in the day, you could turn to a channel and the image would come on for 1 to 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And doing that on like Showtime or Cinemax or something, 12:15 at night because I'm up super late for some weird reason.
And you catch it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I remember there's one I think it was called Top Model.
Oh, okay.
And I knew it was on the list and it had boobs in it every once and again. And it was on for so long that eventually I'd know, if I click it now, just like it's not for another 10 or 15 minutes or something.
Yeah. It's a weird little film. It's described as the wife of an abusive criminal finds solace in the arms of a kind regular guest in her husband's restaurant. But they go into these like, weird kind of dreamlike sequences as she's kind of like negotiating out of this situation. And then, of course, the guy figures out what's going on and there's a confrontation. So it's an interesting film, certainly. And it's, only 7 years after Excalibur. So Helen is very much in her prime as an actress and as a very sexy person. All right, number 6 is Hitchcock.
Did I skip over my 9?
Maybe. What was your 9?
Excalibur?
Yeah, you skipped over it. Totally skipped over it.
You're having a bad day.
It's a punt anyway.
I'm having a bad day.
It's
Good.
all right. It's a punt anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
All right, so mine?
No, number 6, Hitchcock. That's mine.
Nope.
We just did my 7, so you don't have Hitchcock. Okay. Nope. Brandon says Mirren does a great job of playing the wife of a brilliant, selfish filmmaker while he attempts to make his masterpiece, which is Psycho. And this was fun. I really enjoyed this film. Anthony Hopkins plays Hitchcock, and I think Scarlett Johansson plays Janet Leigh.
Okay.
And I can't remember who plays Anthony Perkins in the movie, but this I thought was really a fun film and that explored the relationship between Helen Mirren's character and Anthony Hopkins, because they're husband and wife, obviously, and she wrote a lot of, or helped co-write a lot of the stuff that he did, and so seeing their relationship kind of like at this later stage after all these years and successes and failures, he is going through a crisis of confidence. About to do Psycho. She is flirting with Danny Houston and the possibility of leaving him because he's becoming obsessed with yet another blonde lead actress in his film with Janet Leigh.
Yeah.
And so she's starting to question things. So all of it gets explored here, and Helen Mirren does a really nice job in this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great choice. What do you got?
At 7, I've got the punt from earlier, Red.
Okay.
Do you want to say what?
Oh, sure. Let me see here. He said, she is funny and a badass in an underrated film that actually gets a decent performance from Bruce Willis. Woo-hoo. There's a shot.
And then she wrote, the opening line is roughly the same thing. Gotta love a badass lady and a male-centric movie. Mirren is by far my favorite part of this movie with her dry humor and fun action scenes. And she's the only reason I watched the sequel. Parenthetically, fight me.
Who wants to fight over Red?
Well, Red 2 is what she's saying.
Is the hill you want to die on Red 2? I don't think that, I think it's more like, go ahead, knock yourself out. I'm glad you liked it.
The problem is, these mountains that you decide that this is the hill I stand on, that one's like an anthill, So people are going to overrun you pretty quick on that. You can stand on that hill, but I don't even know if you can call it a hill.
Or people are going to walk around and go, what's wrong with that person?
Yeah. It's one of the lone voices.
Yeah.
But Red, I liked the first one.
Sure. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was fun.
For what it was.
Yeah. And I don't know that it seems like that's what they all showed up to do. They wanted to have a good time, and they had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it Malkovich, Willis, Helen Mirren?
Helen Mirren, and then is Morgan Freeman in this?
Morgan Freeman, I think, is in it.
Yeah.
And the Mary Louise Parker, right? From Weeds?
Probably.
She plays, I think, the love interest for
She's
Willis.
She's been in so many different...
You're right. She has. Yes, she has. All right.
My 6 is Trumbo.
That's a punt.
Okay.
Shockingly enough. All right. My number 5 is a punt from earlier or a few seconds ago.
Punt?
Excalibur, yes. Let's see. Brandon says, an epic film and still the best King Arthur movie to date. You'll get no argument from me on that. Go ahead.
Christian writes, I love King Arthur stories, and Mirren plays the king's half-sister Morgana so well.
Yeah.
The character is a dual role, having to pretend to be a good, Jesus, I need to I'm trying to read this from too far away. having to pretend to be good and while being extremely evil throughout the film. Mirren is both charming and delightfully evil when called for.
Oh, yeah.
A must-see for anyone who wants to see Mirren in weird metal underwear.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's another one I should have been involved in.
Why not?
Yeah.
You can extol the virtues of that movie. Go right ahead.
Yeah, it's a good one, and obviously I love it to pieces, and I think it's great. It's not just for the metal underwear; it's more a matter of like she's at the beginning, you know. Oh no, not the beginning, but like I don't know, two quarters away, three quarters away in the movie, or halfway through the movie, she shows up, and then she just puts such a twist on everything because she is the daughter of the actual legitimate union between Arthur's. Between Arthur's mom and her husband, because Arthur's dad is the one who goes in the mist, Gabriel Byrne, and has sex with her, and so they are half brother and half sister, Morgana, and then Arthur and Morgana have sex because Morgana tricks him, and their son Mordred is the result of that, and then he has to fight Mordred in order to stop the evil from spreading in the world. So, but she's great in it. She's so fun.
Great names.
Yeah, right, I know.
Just great names.
Arthurian times. Well,
it's all variations on roughly the same thing.
Yeah.
Morgana, Mordred.
Yeah.
Gawain.
All right, so that was number 5.
That was your 5?
Yeah, what's your 5?
My 5 is Madness of King George.
Ooh, nice. Not on the list. I like that movie.
All right. She says, Helen Mirren plays Queens really, really well. Mirren isn't acted by Nigel Hawthorne in this movie, which is a huge compliment given how off the wall he gets. Mm-hmm. Her patience and loyalty to the increasingly crazy King George is really fun to watch.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right.
Yeah, Nigel Hawthorne's good in the movie. But because it's all about because that's the King George that obviously we do when we break away from England and the Revolution.
Yeah.
So to see him going crazier as the film goes along and what she has to do, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I remember watching it in the 90s, I think.
I believe didn't he have syphilis?
Yes.
We just didn't know at the time that if left unchecked without antibiotics,
right,
it'll eventually drive you mad.
Yeah.
It's supposedly, I think, what happened to Capone.
Yes.
Anyway.
Moving on.
What do you got at 4?
All right, 4 is The Long Good Friday.
Not on here.
Okay. Brendan says a great suspenseful British gangster film that I feel doesn't get talked about too often. I agree with that. Bob Hoskins is a scary individual and a great performance from a younger Helen Mirren.
Yeah, she more than holds her own as his lover, so to speak, but also business partner. And she helps, basically smoothen the exterior of his image when they go to meet these higher-end clients. She's a great way and end. She's cultured by all comparison and whatnot. And she plays a good, basically a perfect orbit around Bob Hoskins. Mm-hmm. And they have a great dynamic between the two of them. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. Because it didn't come out in the late 80s, I think.
I would say early 80s.
Early 80s, wow. Okay.
I would say like 82 is my guess.
Wow. All right.
It could be wrong, but it's like 82, 84 maybe. I can't, in my head, it doesn't exist outside of that.
1980. Fuck me, you're right.
1980, there you go.
Wow, dude. Woohoo. And that's full on like Bob Hoskins.
Oh, yeah, no, he's playing.
Oh, my gangster.
Just some roughneck hoodlum that managed to fight to the top of part of the food chain in London.
Yeah.
And, he ran into some interference,
You SME lovers might not know that Hoskins could be a pretty brutal badass in films in the 80s and the 70s as well. He was pretty incredible as an actor. That being said. All right.
Yeah, that or Who Framed Roger Rabbit if they didn't get the other reference.
That's true. Who Framed Roger.
Is it Eddie? Although he's the character's name?
Yeah, Eddie.
I can't remember the last name, though.
Valiant.
Is it Eddie Valiant?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it is Eddie Valiant. Isn't that right?
I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure it's Eddie Valiant. Yes, it is Eddie Valiant. Whew. All right. All right. Where were we? You know what's sad? The 4 films that are listed for him on his IMDb: Long Good Friday, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Mona Lisa, which is also another one that people have not watched enough, from 1986, and Super Mario Brothers.
Unfortunately, an iconic movie.
Sadly so. All right, that was your number. That was my number 4. What's your number 4?
4 is Eye in the Sky.
Yeah, not on the list.
Okay.
That's the drone one, I think, right?
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
So Kristen writes, this is an interesting film that sort of demystifies drone warfare. Pardon me.
There it is.
I had to burp there. In a frustrating way. Mirren plays this no-nonsense colonel that must deal with a frustrating and endless chain of command. She helps keep the movie tense while we wait for British politicians and U.S. generals to ping-pong tournaments to make a decision. At ping-pong tournaments to make decisions. Yeah, it's a stupid back and forth, this bureaucratic, nobody,
Yeah.
You can't act in a theater unless you've been acted on type of thing. So you're just waiting for provocation, but that's not how it really works type of thing.
Right.
And, well, who's going to take culpability? Well, I'll realize that has to happen type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, that seems high, though, for it. 4, really?
Yeah, I know. I kind of agree with that, too. Rickman's in that thing, right?
Alan?
Yeah, isn't he in that?
No.
Oh, am I thinking something else?
You're thinking of something else. There's no way Alan Rickman is in that.
Okay. Eye in the Sky, right?
Eye in the Sky.
2015. Helen Mirren, Aaron Paul.
Yeah, he plays the drone pilot.
Oh, yeah, I guess not. I thought it was Alan. I thought Alan Rickman was in that. He is in that. There it is. Lieutenant General Frank Benson. He's the one in the war room.
Do not remember him in it at all.
I remember him from the trailer. I thought it was such an odd thing for him to be part of.
Yeah, I just remember, basically what sticks out is Mirren and then what's happening, what they're watching from above.
Right.
And the action as it unfolds there.
Yeah.
The other characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted it to be better, and it wasn't. All right, my number 3, or Brandon's number 3, is The Queen.
That's a punt.
Okay, all right.
3 for me is Calendar Girls.
Not on the list. Good choice, though.
A bunch of 40-plus women decide to pose for a nude calendar for charity. Not your average story, but it's pretty funny, mainly because of Mirren. Mirren's sense of humor shines through in this movie, and her charm and wit create a really fun atmosphere. I have never seen it.
Oh, really?
Have you?
Yeah, it's a cute little film. I mean, that was that time where I was like watching everything, renting whatever, and watching it and seeing if it was good or not. I'm way more busy now. It's the early 2000s. Yeah, Julie Walters is in this thing. Judi Dench is in this, I think. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. But yeah, they all get together. And
what about, hear me out, Alan Rickman? Is he in that? Does he have a small part that you don't realize? Is it on his IMDb?
By the way, I did realize he was in Eye in the Sky. Kieran Hines is in this thing.
Or you could have just elaborately already looked it up and set it up to make yourself look good because you got a computer right in front of you and you cherry pick.
That seems...
Oh, yeah, and then Alan Rickman. Hold on, let me look it up. And then you just fake clicking away on those keys because I can't see the screen.
That seems a far way to go to prove that point.
I don't know, though. You are quite polished at doing these types of things.
What?
Maybe you've...
How dare you?
That's part of the polish.
Patton Oswalt's in this thing, too. Yeah, I thought it was cause it's a cute little film because I mean, like, they get naked for this calendar, and it's about the larger story about like what was going on in their town, their community, that these women need to do this, and then what it exposes about the gender politics that have been going on for decades between these older generation people, and so all of that gets explored. All right, my number 2, or Brendan's number 2, is the Monster University.
Not on the list.
Yeah, interesting. Brendan says, finally, a prequel that I think challenges the original. Funny and heartwarming. Pixar doesn't disappoint in this one. Matt Knost, you shake your head.
It's not as good as the first one.
Okay.
I know that you feel the inverse.
I do. I think it's as good.
No.
In different ways.
It's good. I'm not taking it away.
It's really a good movie.
Much prefer the first one.
Okay.
And I realize why you can't do that again.
Do the first one again?
Yeah, have them, fall in love with another little girl? Mm-hmm. It would diminish the first one so that they did something different with it. I applaud that.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the different scenes were a ton of fun.
Yep.
Some good humor in it. Mm-hmm. It looked beautiful. She's a, gorgeously crafted character.
Yes.
See, that flying dragon with almost insect-like legs, like millipede legs. And she looks... What is it, Dean Hardscrabble?
Dean Hardscrabble.
Just a ridiculous over-the-top name. It's like, it's got a lot of good. I just don't think it's as good to me as the first one. It's
a strong speech she delivers when she says some people just aren't built to make it, just aren't going to make it. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, oh my God. This is what separates Pixar from a lot of other animated studios. They will say some really hard shit in their movies, and you're just like, fuck. Like, this feels a little too real. And the kids won't really grasp the scope of what some of the adults are saying. But you, as an older age, you're just like, oh my God. It's like that's a scary thing to think about. Because that's something you put in the back of your mind, like, what if I'm not good enough to do this thing? What if no matter how hard I work, it's not going to happen,
Yeah.
And when she says that to Sully about Mike, you're just like, wow. Anyway, all right. My number one, or Brandon's number one, is Trumbo, which is your punt from earlier.
Was that your 2?
No, I already did the 2.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm used to us going in reverse. Go ahead, bro. I apologize.
Gosford Park.
Oh, not on the list, clearly,
Yep.
as I just admitted.
Yeah. So she says, besides that this movie inspired the creation of one of my favorite shows, Downton Abbey.
Oh, yeah?
Mirren is simply incredible in it. She was nominated for an Oscar for her role, and honestly, she deserved to win based solely on her scene at the end of the movie. I blame Maggie Smith for also being incredible in this film and splitting the vote.
The Dame Maggie Smith. Hell
Yeah, it is. Gosford Park's good.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good upstairs, downstairs?
Isn't it Altman who does Gosford Park? Who does Gosford Park?
That sounds about right. It's an Altman type of story
Right?
in that there's so many moving parts.
Yeah, I thought that was Altman.
It would make sense, but it's...
I'm looking it up for the first time. I don't know.
Yeah. So says you. You didn't know that I was going to spring that movie on you? You didn't have it just waiting in an open tab?
It is Altman. I remember because I recently found out it was Altman, and it shocked me because it's a British film.
It is. Through and through, I think it was a British film.
And Philippe has a terrible accent in that movie. You can't deny that. It's a horrible accent. But he's doing his best. He's a young actor.
Hey, what are you
do? Exactly. What are you going to do?
Is that Philippi? When you said Philippe, I was like, I'm trying in my head.
Is it Philippi?
Philippi, Ryan Philippi.
All right.
What is he doing? He's Philippe now?
I'll defer to you, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
It sounds like
Ryan Philippi does not come up in my life. I just learned it when he came out in those rash of movies right around when him and Reese
were dating.
Yeah, were dating and then got married.
Yeah, that's right. They did get married.
And then it was like he was off my radar until MacGruber.
Oh, yeah, MacGruber. That's right.
I hadn't seen Philippi in fucking forever. And then suddenly it's like, hold on, is this dude likable?
I saw the report last night. Matt, you got to see this thing when it comes out on Amazon. I don't know if it's coming out. I think it's coming out in theaters too. But it's that about the CIA torture and the redacted reports that went around that that they created. And Adam Driver's in this thing. Annette Bening plays Dianne Feinstein, as I've been schooled last night. There's a kid. There's a guy in the film, and it's the young kid from Spin City. And I haven't seen that fucker since Spin City. I was shocked. Remember the kid, the young intern that was always like, Mike, I don't know what I should do with the floppy brown hair. He had the semi-lisp.
I'd have to see him.
Oh, okay.
I remember, obviously Michael Keaton.
Right.
And then Heather Locklear.
Those are the later years. Because Sheen came at that time too.
But then across from him was the guy that's on Succession now, and he was in Ferris Bueller. He worked in the same office.
Oh, Cameron Ruck.
There you go.
Yes.
And then a bald-headed black guy.
Yeah, Michael Boatman.
That was in Crimson Tide.
Yes, he was.
But I don't remember the young kid.
Okay. Richard Kind was also on it, remember?
There you go.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. Jennifer Esposito was on for a season or two.
Don't remember that.
Connie Britton was on the whole time.
Okay.
I think pretty much the whole time. Except for the last season. I think she left for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Carla Gugino. Oh, I remember Carla Gugino. Remember she was in the first season. She was his girlfriend in the first season. I remember that. Holy
I only occasionally
Mary.
saw it when it was on repeats.
I think Alexander Chaplin is the guy's name. I think. Yeah, this guy. So this is what he looks like now.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
He was always the goofy kid who didn't know what to do. He was always fumbling over himself and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I saw him last night. I hadn't seen him in years in anything. And then I saw him in this and I was like, holy shit. So I was pretty surprised by that.
When it comes out of nowhere.
I know. You're just like, what?
Where do I know you from? Hold on. Oh, my God. You're.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's instant. You're like, that dude? I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
Where you been?
Yeah. He consistently works, I guess, like small one-offs on TV shows. That's what. How do you stay alive on that? Are you making Spin City? Is Spin City giving you money? Like, how does this?
To this day?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about. You know,
I'm sure it's in syndication somewhere. He's maybe getting a modest amount.
Yeah, he can't be getting enough to live off of. So, doing 3 1-episode arcs on a show, does that pay the bills?
That's all he had on that show?
No. He was a series regular on the show.
Yeah,
he did 100 episodes. But in 2003, he does a TV movie and one episode of Law and Order. How do you pay your bills off that?
I don't know.
2004, one movie. 2005, one movie. 2006, one movie. 2007, one episode of a TV show. So it's all weird to me how people stay alive in this business.
Yeah. Do what you got to do.
And pay their bills. But maybe he invested wisely. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. I liked him. All right. The number one then is Trumbo on my end.
Okay.
Not on your list, you said?
No, it's on my list. It's a pump from earlier.
Oh, that's right. Pump from earlier. Interesting look at the state of America and Hollywood shortly after World War II. Bryan Cranston's greatest performance to date. Whoa.
Cranston's greatest performance to date?
Whoa. Are we talking on screen like film?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
He's great in it.
Yeah, certainly good in it. I think he was nominated.
He was nominated.
Yeah, okay.
He was easily the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
It's nothing against everybody else, just he does so much.
Yeah.
But anyway, Kristen writes, she had Trumbo at 6. Mirren plays this villainous gossip columnist who's so stuck up and blinded by her ideals, but Mirren finds this great balance where you both hate her and sympathize with her believing in her ideals so strongly. Not an easy thing to do, but Mirren does it with great energy.
Well,
she does. She plays something that totally existed.
Yeah.
Something that's just, hey, I won't tell this story, but give me an exclusive for my readers. And she has her readership and goes out in X number of newspapers. And that's how she makes her money.
Yeah.
Just fucking scamming around, holding on to the juicy stuff so she can get whatever she needs.
Yep. John Goodman's in this thing too, right? Doesn't he play his friend?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, there's our separate... Oh, no, you got to do number one. My bad. Fuck
my number one, the
Damn
Queen.
It. The Queen. The punt from my number 3. Or Brandon's number 3, yeah.
What did he say?
He says, a masterful performance in the film I think she will be remembered for. Definitely earned her Oscar. I agree. This is number 1 for me. She was incredible in this film.
Okay. Kristen says, like I said, Helen Mirren is great at playing queens. Mirren was born for this role, and she absolutely earned her Oscar win. You see Queen Elizabeth as both this out-of-touch woman and a strong character who is just trying to uphold her country's traditions. It's an incredibly balanced, understated performance. She is really just perfection in this role. Plus, there are corgis. So it is the obvious choice for number 1.
Fair enough. Although I will say this. I mean, she said, I was reading a thing about her, and she said that she cried when she saw the outfits for the film because she was going to be so dowdy in the film.
Really?
Yeah. Like she looked at her, she's like, oh my God. But she delivered an incredible... It's still one of my favorite films that she's ever done, and certainly one of my favorite British films, because it really captures the aristocracy of that and contrasts it with the people's love of Diana. And you really are like... She's sympathetic in the fact that the reason she doesn't get it is because she's had decades of a certain way of things that are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And because she was so much later in her life... having to adjust a mentality about how to approach something was very difficult for her, But
how could it not be?
Right, exactly, and that's the thing, and that's why I think the movie does really well, because she's kind of not likable in the first 20 to 30 minutes of the film, because she's a bit like stuffy and judgmental and snarky. It grows, though. Yeah.
If you're groomed for that your entire life,
right,
of course you're like, listen. This has been drilled into me. This is the way it works.
Yep.
I guess not wanting to defy the traditions and the systems in place. That's why change is always hard. I've never been really that fascinated with the royals.
Oh, yeah?
It's interesting.
Sure.
But it's never been something that's ever captivated my attention beyond just like this descended from this and how did it happen type of thing.
Right.
But the palace intrigue type stuff, not for me.
Not your jam.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Okay.
I like the other things that are going on around. Sometimes I like the intrigue on the inside, but anytime they do these, based on outside of King's Speech, I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, King's Speech is great.
It is.
Yep.
It humanizes them, makes them interesting. I do like that show with was it Claire?
The Crown.
Yeah,
The Crown is good.
Crown is really good.
Yeah,
I'm surprised I liked it.
The third season. Did you see the trailer for the third season? Oh, it's really good. It's Olivia Colman looking at Claire Foy, a picture of Claire Foy her as a younger woman. Oh, really? And then a new portrait of herself. And the guys are like trying to it happens with age and the difference here. You still read, and she goes, "Oh, there's such a difference here from And she goes, from what I was to the old bat I am now. And you're like, oh, shit. And so Olivia Colman's a great casting choice for this now. I was on the fence about it because she's a great actress.
Yeah.
Claire Foy was such an interesting energy as Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I was worried what Olivia was going to do with it. And then you watch the 1 minute trailer and I was like, all right, I'm fucking fine. This is going to be great.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. I came to it late. I watched season 2 first.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I already know.
It's a slower season than the first season.
It is.
Yeah.
While true, all I heard was season 1 was great. So then Catherine watched it. And then when season 2 started, I was like, I'll start it with you.
Yeah.
Because.
Just catch me up as we go along.
Well, it's not even. I already know most of the build-up, at least. Why X is here and why Y is here.
Right,
or the overall. But that one's more about just the back and forth, like her sister.
Right.
And her husband.
Right.
The first one you got Churchill.
Yeah. Which is great.
There's more of the politics. He's awesome.
So good. Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I really want to see what happens. All right, let's put this damn thing together, brother. I can type if you don't want to type.
Sure. Good.
All right, let's do this thing. Do we have any common? We have some commonality.
We have some. We have Red, Excalibur,
the Queen,
Trumbo.
Okay.
And you don't have Gosford Park. So where do you have Queen? You got the Queen 3.
Queen's at 3. Trumbo's at 1.
Yeah, but I got 1 for Queen. Trumbo's.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the Queen it is.
The Queen and then Trumbo.
Okay. Sounds good. What's next?
We have.
Do we have Excalibur's at 5, but that's your.
That is my 9.
Yeah. So let's go lower on the list.
And then Red, I've got it 7, and you've got it where?
8. So at least those 2 will stay on.
Yeah, but those will be lower, so it'll go Excalibur and Red whenever we get to that.
What do you have next at 2?
At 2, I got Gosford Park.
Okay, I got Monster University. I'm at 2. I'm happy to put Gosford Park and then Monster University. You cool with that?
Yep.
Okay. Because I agree. There's probably a lot of people that don't agree that it should be that high. All right.
My next is Calendar Girls. What do you got at 3? Oh, you already have your 3, right?
I did the Queen, yeah. So Calendar Girls goes. Okay.
What would you want to do our combos at this point?
Right after Calendar Girls, I think is good.
Okay.
So into 6. So what
Excalibur and then Red.
Okay. All right. We're up to 8.
So which I got my number 4.
Me too. The Long Good Friday is my number 4.
Okay. Go with that.
Okay.
And then we'll do Eye in the Sky to close.
Okay. Well, that'll be the 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got Excalibur at 5, so you have something different at 5, it goes to 10.
We already did Excalibur.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you have something different at 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Madness of King George.
Okay. That'll be the 10. All right, there we go. Boom. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Do we need the bongos for this?
No, I got banging.
Let's do it. Let's see on the reel. All right, here we go. The Realist Top 10 Helen Mirren movies. Yes. I think we should do that again. You want to do that again?
You want to do it again?
Yeah,
I just wanted to come in and fade out. Was that loud enough?
That was good. I like it.
As loud as it goes.
All right. The top 10 Helen Mirrens on the Realist. Yeah.
Realist.
There you go. All right. And Helen Mirren movies, I meant. All right.
And number 10.
The Madness of King George.
Coming in at number 8. 9, rather.
Eye in the Sky.
And number 8.
The Long Good Friday.
And number 7.
Red.
And number 6.
Excalibur.
Coming in at number 5.
Calendar Girls.
And number 4.
Monsters University.
And number 3.
Gosford Park.
And number 2.
Trumbo.
And finally, the number 1 Helen Mirren movie on the Realist.
Pip Pip Cheerio, the Queen. There you go.
Oh, man, it's only downhill from here. That's
I know, bro. I know.
I'm already just barely hanging on the side of this Tibetan road where the wheels are starting to come off in some weird 5th script for Indiana Jones that may or may not be made. It's like, oh, dude, this better write itself. I don't want to hit black ice and then go off the side.
Oh, man. All right, well, there we go. That's our realist for the top 10 Helen Mirren movies. Thank you so much to the people who submitted their lists. And go ahead, Matt.
to Chris Alexakos for helping us put this together.
Yep.
And, our patrons, Kristen Smith, Brandon Munroe, and Angela Dashner.
Thank you,
Angela. If you
Angela.
guys want to join in on the relist and all the other cool stuff that we do, go to patreon.com/the-top10.
Right.
With the number 10, you can join there, and we do all kinds of different stuff for you guys. So please hit us up there. You can hit me up online anywhere at Matt Knost, MATTKNOST. And if you'd like to join the discussion, there's been some nice polls and whatnot. I think Master and Commander has beaten your Excalibur poll.
Well, I think you kind of undercut that poll by commenting that this was about who'd seen it, not which one they prefer.
Well, that's what you asked for.
Which one? Who'd seen it?
Yes, that's what you asked for in the
Right.
show. And
but
then
they're doing it. They're doing it in a different way.
I love it. Very Trumpian of you. Like, I got no control. The people do what the people want to do.
I'm saying they didn't put it up correctly.
Dude,
I agree with you.
I read one comment. I was almost had tears in my eyes.
What was the comment?
Somebody was just like, I'd love it if, I think it was Daniel Clarity.
Okay.
Something along those lines. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong, but like, I'd love it if Knost did a history podcast, which will never happen. But I was just like, that's kind of you to say
of course.
type of thing. And I just went through and like the fifth, sixth, seventh comment, some two just went, pass. It just fucking slayed me. It's all these people be like, that'd be awesome. This truth, man. This dude literally just kind of pass. I fucking died laughing. I'm not kidding. I let him know. There's no way you're not like a fan of the show. So I know it's with love. So
Yeah,
just
right.
the fucking joke of just pass. Oh, man. Just got chumped like a toddler. It's fucking great. I laughed so hard.
That's perfect.
But yeah, over at facebook.com/groups/ the top 10 show with the number 10. And the guy's name was Kevin. I can't remember last name, Kev.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, it was. It's just, that's so good. Thank you for that. I needed it.
All right. Well, there you go. Follow him, Matt Knost. Follow me at The Rocha Says. And we'll talk to you next time on The Relist.
Relist.